Have you ever looked at the clouds and wondered, I wonder what it's like to be at the top? Well, I have an answer for you. Today, I received the word clouds. To me, it means to be famous, to be up there with the other people who have achieved their dreams, and you could do it. You could do the same if you put time and effort into it. To support my point of view, I will use three examples: Will Smith, Walt Disney, and Helen Keller. Let's talk about Will Smith first. Will Smith is an actor, a rapper, and you might know him from MIB, the genie from Aladdin, or The Fresh Prince. But Will Smith grew up in a poor family. His family had tax problems, and throughout his life, he had many rough things. And even in his profession, he had professional setbacks. One you might have heard one, which is his most recent one, was at the 94th Oscar Awards in 2023, where he walked up to Chris Rock and slapped him across the face. But even with this backlash, he's still made into movies, and he's still successful to this day. This relates to my interpretation that even if setbacks hold you back, time and effort could help you. My second example is Walt Disney. You might know him for creating Disneyland and Disney World. But you should also know him for creating the one and only Mickey Mouse that we're all familiar with. The good old jolly mouse that everyone has seen at once in their lifetime. But enough of this stuff. Let's talk about his early life and his life in general. He grew up in a middle-class family, and he had a passion for art when he was 7 years old. He went as far as to even sell his artwork to his neighbors. He lived in a farm, but even in this middle-class family, he still had a rough time. He had a really strict dad and a mentally ill mom. As his life grew on and he still did drawing, his artwork got rejected many times from businesses. And he tried to create his own theme park once. Not Disneyland, but a different theme park that didn't really go well. But then he made the Laugh-O-Grams in 1921. And this was a massive hit for him. He got some reputation here and there, but the real part starts in 1937 when he released Snow White. This was a huge hit for him. It made him super famous and got him into the Animators Hall of Fame. This relates to my interpretation that with time and effort, you could create a top. Either it being your hobbies, you can make a top for that. There are many people out there who have a profession, and you could reach the top there. You could create a top for anything at this point. But let's go on to our final example, Helen Keller, who was blind and deaf. She was a political activist here and there, and she also had many rough times. She had a lot of rough times in her life. Let's talk about her life real quick, though. When she was born, she was a completely normal child, believe it or not. But she was just deaf in her left ear. But she became blind and fully deaf when she was 19 months old. She couldn't go to school like the other kids, so she only went to school when she became 7 years old. Of course, she couldn't hear or see anybody, so what she did was she touched their faces to feel their facial expressions, and that's how they communicated with. That's how Helen Keller communicated with other people. Despite all this, going to school at 7 years old, she was able to graduate college. And after she graduated college, she published 14 books, wrote essays, and she became a teacher, a political activist, and a public speaker. This relates to my interpretation that you could, with time and effort, you could achieve anything in your life. Today, I received the word cloud. To me, it means being on the top like clouds with fame and glory because of time and effort that were invested. We looked at Will Smith, Walt Disney, Helen Keller, who achieved their dreams through time and effort. So at the end of the day, something you want, put time and effort to reach the top.